Welcome to the Daily Influence, where our mission is to deliver a daily dose of positive influence that can uplift you personally or be shared within your sphere of influence. While not every episode may directly apply to your unique circumstances, we strive to provide insights and inspiration relevant to most people's daily, weekly, and monthly lives. Whether you are tuning in during the morning, noon, or night, the Daily Influence is here for you. Listen, share, and embrace the power of influence in your life. Hey everybody, Brian Smith here with the Iron Team series and the Daily Influence. And today we are going to dive into the responsibility of leadership, specifically the responsibility to be fair and objective. And it's very hard for us, generally speaking, as humans, to be fair and objective. There is so much that gets in the way of being able to do that. Our bias is the number one thing that can get in that way. When bias interferes in our ability to be fair and objective, that leads to, or can tend to lead to, emotions on both sides, not just for ourselves, but as we react to people in situations and lose our objectivity, then emotions can rise. If we can, without judgment, stay objective, fairness comes from that. And it's an exercise in responsible leadership and positive influence to do that. Some of the best ways that I have found is just to make sure that you're not contradicting the values or the policies and procedures that you've put in place, and holding people to those. Use those as a guidepost to help you to manage throughout a day. And if you find yourself in situations where you are often subjective, think of ways that you might be able to systematize those situations and lay down some groundwork and lay down some opportunity for you to create a way to stay objective and fall back on a policy or procedure or some kind of agreement that you have that everybody can understand and rely on. And I don't like to break rules. There are exceptions to every rule, but trying to stay true to these baselines that we create in our areas of influence can really help us. That includes being objective and honest with your team, allowing them to call you out and challenge you when you contradict yourself. And as a leader, we have to be able to look in the mirror, or let our teams, the people that we rely on, look at us and themselves be objective and tell us, support us in the struggles that we might find ourselves in, where we contradict ourselves and create inconsistencies, which can chip away at the foundation of our teams. It can get in the way of good culture, and it gets in the way of having a fair and objective environment where everybody is included and we can benefit from so much that our team can bring to the table. For myself, I found myself sometimes micromanaging, and through micromanagement, I erode at the trust that you have in people. So what would happen is that I would delegate to somebody, not clearly identify what that delegation might mean, and then as soon as they started, interfere. And they would look back at me, sometimes right away or sometimes after the frustration level got high, and say, why did you give it to me in the first place if you weren't going to let me do what you wanted done? And that's a fair thing to say. And we need to be fair and objective in how we give instructions. If we aren't specific in what we want from people, how can we ever expect them to give us a proper expectation or to meet our expectations? So being fair and objective means providing all of the information that's needed with a baseline that is understood by both parties, not just yourself. You can't be subjective about an understanding and think that you're going to have objective outcomes. you're setting yourself up and your team up for failure. Listening also to your team, getting feedback, asking questions like, do you understand? Is that clear? Am I missing anything that would keep you from succeeding? What do you think my expectation is from this request? And when we ask these probing questions as we're delegating, as we're leading, then we allow for a back and forth. We allow for a better communication. We allow for them to ask questions and to engage with us and to be more specific, request more measurements, make sure that we're setting timelines and boundaries in place for whatever it is that we're trying to do within our area of influence. Being fair and objective as a leader is about engagement, it's about inclusion, and it's about working together as a team. It's just not about telling people what to do and laying out your subjective expectation. It's getting feedback from them, engaging with them, and helping them to succeed. Some of the key takeaways from fair and objective leadership is being fair means respecting everybody's input. Um, there are different views oftentimes. There's different ways to get things done. Listen to those things. Somebody might actually bring you something that is better, more efficient, cost savings, better return on investment, better cultural environment, better engagement because they approach a problem or a challenge differently. Um, Understanding your values, understanding your culture, understanding your own expectations, and being honest about them. That's another takeaway. When we do that, we can communicate those things better. And don't let your emotions get in the way. Emotions are important, but when we're in a situation where we need to be fair and objective, the less emotion is better. And you can be positive without adding too much emotion either way that can sway or influence what it is we're trying to get done. I hope you have a great day. I hope that we have helped you understand what fair and objective leadership and how it can lead to positive leadership and positive individual influence in your specific area of influence. And please join us again tomorrow as we wrap up our understanding responsibility and we reflect on what it is to understand our responsibility as individuals, our responsibility to the environments where our influence is influential and where we can be positive in all that we do. I hope you have a great night.